The words still burn, even now, years later. Leave if you want. You'll be back begging within a month. That night, after she'd humiliated me in front of her friends, I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Start counting." The air in the apartment was thick with the scent of roasted salmon and stale tension. Crystal glasses clinked, reflecting the harsh glow of the dining room chandelier, illuminating the three women across from me, their laughter sharp, their smiles too wide. Sophia sat at the head of the table, her eyes glittering with a cruel satisfaction I'd never seen directed at me until now. My own creation, a meal lovingly prepared, sat cooling on the plates. Looking back, I ignored so many red flags I could have opened a flag store. Sophia had been chipping away at me for months, and I'd been too stupid, or maybe too hopeful, to see it for what it truly was. Little comments here, dismissive gestures there, each one small enough that calling it out felt like overreacting, but they added up. They always added up. Like the time her company threw a happy hour, and she invited me to meet her work friends. I showed up, ready to make a good impression. Her friends were already there, Chloe, Madison and Harper, all marketing people, all dressed like they were hitting a club. Chloe greeted me first. "Oh, you must be Daniel. Sophia's told us so much about you." She paused, her smile predatory. "Good things, I hope. She says you're very stable." The way she said it made stable sound like a disease, a character flaw I should be ashamed of. When someone inevitably asked what I did, Sophia jumped in before I could even open my mouth. "He does software stuff, tech things. Honestly, I don't really understand it." She laughed, a tinkling, condescending sound, and her friends laughed with her. "Software engineering," I corrected, my voice quiet, almost an apology. "I work on back-end systems." For Dash, Sophia interrupted, touching my arm with fingers tipped in perfectly manicured nails. "He gets so technical. It's adorable." Adorable. Like I was a kid showing off a crayon drawing. I let it go. They weren't tech people. They didn't need to understand. But it stung. A dull throb, a quiet dismissal of my passion, my intelligence. Then there was the money conversation. We'd been talking about taking a vacation, and I'd suggested we save up a bit more first. "You're always so worried about money," she said, rolling her eyes, as if financial prudence was an ugly habit. "We're fine. I'm just trying to be responsible. You make decent money. I make more. Between us, we're doing great." There it was. Casual as anything. I make more. She did make more. About $90,000 plus commission as a marketing manager. But she also hadn't paid rent in the year she'd been living in my apartment. She contributed maybe $200 a month for groceries when she remembered. "You know, I pay for the apartment, right?" I said, trying to keep my tone light. "And I appreciate that, but come on, Daniel. It's not like you're struggling. You're just careful. Too careful sometimes." I wanted to point out that careful was why the rent was always paid. That careful was why we had any savings at all. But I didn't. I let it go. Big mistake. Another time, we were at her friend Harper's birthday thing. Some rooftop bar with $20 cocktails and a dress code I barely met. I was talking to some guy about his startup, genuinely engaged, when Sophia pulled me aside. "You need to stop doing that," she hissed. "Doing what?" "Talking about work. People's eyes glaze over when you start going on about code and systems." He asked what I did. I was answering. "You were boring him. I could see it." She squeezed my arm, a possessive, warning grip. "Just talk about normal things. Sports, travel, not work. You talk about work constantly." "That's different. Marketing is interesting. People get it." She kissed my cheek, a quick, dismissive peck. "I'm just trying to help you make a good impression." So, I spent the rest of the night talking about sports I didn't follow and trips I couldn't afford because I was paying rent for an apartment I basically lived in alone. All of this was building to something, a growing pressure under my skin, but I didn't see it. Or maybe I did, and I just didn't want to believe it. Then I got the job offer. It came in an email that changed everything. A tech company in Austin, Texas. Senior software engineer. $185,000 base salary. I was making $68,000 at the time. This wasn't just a raise. It was a completely different life. I told Sophia that night over dinner. I got a job offer. Senior engineer role in Austin. She barely looked up from her phone, scrolling through social media. Austin, like Texas? Yeah. Incredible opportunity. The salary alone is triple what I make now. My voice was buzzing with excitement, a pure, unadulterated thrill. She finally looked up, then laughed, a harsh, incredulous sound. "You're not seriously considering moving to Texas?" "I am. It's the kind of role I've been wanting for years." "Daniel, be serious. My job is here. My friends are here. We have a life. You can't just uproot everything for more money." "It's not just more money, Sophia. It's Dash, your job is fine," she said, picking up her phone again, dismissing my entire future with a wave of her hand. "You're just having one of your moments. You'll feel different tomorrow." I didn't feel different the next day, or the day after that. But I also didn't push it. I had 2 weeks to decide. I figured we'd talk more about it. We didn't. And then came the dinner party. Sophia had asked me to cook. She always did when her friends came over because, as she put it, "You're actually good at it, and I'm not." I spent 2 hours making salmon with roasted vegetables and homemade pasta while she got ready, Makeup, hair, changing outfits 3 times. Her friends, Chloe, Madison, and Harper, showed up right on time, dressed like they were going to a photo shoot. Daniel's playing chef tonight, Chloe announced, like it was hilarious. Yeah, he's useful for that, Sophia said, laughing along with her. I brought out the food, a meal I'd poured hours into. They barely acknowledged it. Dinner started fine. They talked about work, about influencer drama, about some Miami trip they were planning. I ate and listened, trying to find a way into the conversation, a place where I might belong. Then Madison turned to Sophia. So, did you close that luxury car deal? Not yet, but I'm in final negotiations. It's a $200,000 contract. That's insane. You're killing it. Harper then turned to me, her eyes lingering for a beat longer than necessary. What about you, Daniel? Still doing the computer thing? Software engineering? Yeah, actually, I just got offered a senior position. Sophia cut me off, her voice laced with mockery. He's thinking about moving to Texas for it. She laughed, a brittle, dismissive sound, as if the idea itself was absurd. Like that's actually going to happen. The table went quiet. Madison raised her eyebrows, a silent question. Wait, you'd move for a job? What about Sophia? It's a really good opportunity, I said, trying to regain control of a narrative, trying to infuse my voice with the genuine excitement I felt. Triple my current salary. Chloe leaned forward, her expression sharpening, her eyes suddenly shrewd. Triple? What do you make now? Like, 50,000. 68,000. Harper actually laughed. A loud, open, derisive sound that echoed through the small silence. Oh honey, that's cute. Sophia, didn't you say you make like 90,000 plus commission? Yeah. Sophia was smiling now, a triumphant, almost cruel smile. So, yeah, I make more than him, which is why this whole Texas thing is ridiculous. I'm kind of the breadwinner here. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. The breadwinner. My blood ran cold, then hot with a slow-burning fury. Years of quiet indignities, of being belittled, dismissed, all culminated in that single, arrogant statement. The filter snapped. You don't pay rent, I said. The table went dead silent. Sophia's smile vanished, her face contorting into an ugly snarl. Excuse me. You haven't paid rent in a year. I cover the apartment, utilities, groceries. You contribute maybe $200 a month. Her face went from red to purple, an explosion of mortification and rage. Oh my God. Are you seriously doing this in front of my friends? This is pathetic. I'm just stating facts. My voice was low, steady, a dangerous calm settling over me. No, you're being petty because you're embarrassed. She turned to her friends, laughing nervously, a desperate attempt to regain control. Can you believe this? Madison shifted uncomfortably. Maybe we should dash no. Sophia snapped, her eyes blazing. Let's talk about it. Daniel, if you're so unhappy, then leave. Go to Texas. Take your little job offer and see how far you get without me. Without us. Without me. My voice was barely a whisper. Yeah. You think you're hot because one company made you an offer? Please. You're boring, Daniel. You spend your weekends playing video games and writing code. I'm the one with the social life, the connections, the actual career trajectory. Without me, you're just some guy who sits in front of a computer all day. Chloe looked at her plate, suddenly fascinated by her roasted salmon. Sophia, I don't think dash no, let me finish. She was on a roll now, her voice getting louder, shriller, desperate to dominate, to wound. He's been moping about this offer for weeks like it's some huge dilemma. Here's the reality. You won't take it. You're too scared. You'll stay here. Keep your safe little job and keep cooking my dinners because that's who you are. You need me to be interesting. I put down my fork. My hands were shaking, but my voice when it came was steady, colder than ice. So, you think I need you? I know you do. She leaned back, crossing her arms, a smirk playing on her lips. And honestly, leave if you want. You'll be back begging within a month when you realize how lonely Texas is without anyone who actually cares about you. I stared at her. At this woman I'd spent 2.5 years with, who I'd supported and cooked for and cleaned up after. And I saw her clearly for the first time. The mask was off, revealing a raw, ugly truth. I stood up. Start counting. She blinked, her triumphant smirk faltering. What? You said a month. Start counting today. I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my laptop bag and keys. My heart was pounding, a frantic drumbeat in my chest, but I felt eerily calm. Sophia followed me to the door, laughing nervously, still trying to play it off. Where are you going? You're being dramatic. Out. Daniel, sit down. My friends are here. Your friends just watched you humiliate me. Enjoy the rest of your dinner. I opened the door. This is exactly what I'm talking about. She called after me. You can't handle confrontation. You run away. I turned around, pausing in the doorway, my gaze fixed on hers. I'm not running away. I'm leaving. There's a difference. I walked out and closed the door behind me. The click echoed in the sudden silence, a sound of definitive finality. I drove to a hotel, checked in, and sat on the bed for 20 minutes, staring at nothing. Then, with a surge of cold resolve, I opened my laptop and replied to the Austin offer. I accept. When can I start? A response came 15 minutes later. 2 weeks work for you? We'll handle all relocation. I confirmed. Then I sat there alone in that hotel room and let myself feel it. The anger, sharp and hot. The hurt, a dull ache behind my ribs. The humiliation of being talked down to in front of her friends while eating food I'd spent hours cooking. But also, something else. Clarity. She was right about one thing. I was stable. Reliable, careful. But I wasn't boring. I wasn't someone who needed her to be interesting. I was someone who just accepted a job that would triple my salary and change my entire life. And she wasn't invited. The next morning, I went back to the apartment while Sophia was out at brunch with her friends. I packed my essentials. Clothes, laptop, important documents, toiletries, everything I'd need for the next 2 weeks. Then I wrote a note, asterisk took the job. Moving to Austin in 2 weeks. Lease in my name. You have 30 days to find a new place. I'll pay this month's rent to give you time. After that, you're on your own. Asterisk Daniel, I left it on the kitchen counter with my key. Sophia called 6 times that afternoon. I didn't answer. She texted, are you serious? You're throwing a tantrum over one dinner. I replied once, not a tantrum. A decision. You have 30 days. You can't just kick me out. We've been together over 2 years. Lease in my name. You never paid rent. Legally, you're not a tenant. 30 days is generous. This is insane. My friends think you've lost your mind. I blocked her number. She called from Chloe's phone. Blocked that too. She showed up at my office. Security called up. There's a Sophia here to see you. Tell her I'm in a meeting. She says it's urgent. Tell her to leave, or I'll file for harassment. She left. The next 2 weeks blurred together. I gave notice at my current job. My boss was disappointed but understanding. My team threw me a goodbye lunch. Turns out they actually liked me, respected me, thought I was good at what I did. Funny how I'd forgotten what that felt like. I hired movers and made arrangements for Austin. The company set me up with a relocation specialist who found me a great apartment downtown. Modern, clean, walking distance to the office. Sophia tried everything. Texts from different numbers, emails. She even got her mom, Evelyn, to call. Daniel, this is ridiculous. Evelyn said, her voice dripping with maternal indignation. Sophia made a mistake, but you're being cruel. She has nowhere to go. She has 30 days. That's more than most people get. You're going to regret this when you're alone in Texas. Maybe, but I'll be making $185,000 a year while I regret it. I hung up. The day before I left, Sophia showed up at the apartment while I was loading the moving truck. You're really doing this, she said. She looked terrible. No makeup, eyes red, hair pulled back. The polish was gone, revealing the raw fear beneath. I'm over what I said at dinner. You're that petty. Petty is humiliating your boyfriend in front of your friends while he cooks you dinner. This is just consequences. I didn't mean it. I was drunk and showing off. I know, I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. And that makes it worse. Because that's what you really think of me. You just usually have the sense not to say it out loud. She started crying. Please, Daniel, we can fix this. I'll apologize to everyone. I don't care what you tell them. Then what do you want? Nothing from you. I want nothing. I got in my car. She stood there, crying in the parking lot, as I pulled away. I didn't look back. Austin was everything I needed it to be. The apartment was perfect. Modern, clean. Mine. No one else's clothes in the closet. No one else's mess. Just my space. The job was incredible. Smart team, collaborative environment, exciting work. My first week, my manager pulled me aside. Just want to say, we're really glad to have you. Your interview was one of the strongest we've had. I almost didn't know how to respond. It had been so long since someone had said something like that. My first bi-weekly paycheck hit, $7,150 after taxes and benefits. That was more than I used to make in a month. Every 2 weeks, I bought new furniture, a proper desk setup, a real bed, art for the walls. I joined a rock climbing gym, made friends, got invited to a climbing trip. I went to a tech meetup, met people who understood what I did, who got excited about the same problems I was solving. I started remembering who I was before Sophia convinced me I was boring. Through mutual friends, I heard updates. Sophia had moved back in with her parents. Couldn't afford an apartment on her $90,000 salary when she actually had to pay rent. Her friends had stopped inviting her out, the dinner party incident had spread. Chloe apparently called it so cringe. She'd lost the car brand deal. Her work performance had tanked. She'd been asking everyone for my new number, my new address. I didn't care. For weeks after I moved, my phone rang. Austin area code. Didn't recognize the number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Daniel? Oh my God, you answered. My stomach dropped. Sophia. Sophia? How did you get this number? I'm in Austin. I flew down. I needed to see you. How did you get my address? Michael gave it to me. Please, I'm downstairs. Can I come up? Michael and I would have words later. No. Please. I flew all the way here. I went down to the lobby. She was sitting in a chair, looking rough. Tired. Not her usual polished self. Nice building, she said when she saw me. What are you doing here, Sophia? I needed to apologize. That dinner was a mistake. I was drunk and insecure, and I took it out on you. I didn't mean any of it. You said I was boring. That I needed you to be interesting, that I'd be back begging. I was wrong. Look at you. New city, new job, new place. You're thriving. And I miss you. I miss us. I could get a job here. We could start fresh. I stared at her, her words hanging in the air, hollow and desperate. You think I want you to move here? We were good together before I screwed up. I was insecure about your offer because it made me feel small. But I'm different now. Different how? I had to move back with my parents. My friends don't talk to me. I lost the car deal. Work's been awful. Everything fell apart without you. So, you came here because you're desperate. I came here because I love you. No, you loved having someone to cook your dinners and pay your rent while you told your friends how much more successful you were. That's not fair. She was crying now, tears streaming down her face. You made $90,000 and contributed $200 a month while calling yourself the breadwinner. I know I was terrible, but people make mistakes. Don't I deserve a second chance? You told me I'd be back begging within a month. It's been 4 weeks. Here you are in Austin begging. Don't be cruel. I'm not being cruel. I'm being honest. You wanted me to stay small so you could feel big. Now I'm actually successful, and you can't handle it. That's not true. You want me to be successful, but not more successful than you. That's why you hated the offer. Please, she whispered, her voice cracking. Just give me another chance. No. Just like that. Just like that? I flew all the way here. I looked at her and felt nothing. You said I'd be lonely in Texas without anyone who cares. Turns out I made friends. Got invited to a climbing trip. My team actually respects what I do. I'm not lonely at all. Are you seeing someone? That's none of your business. Her face twisted, a flash of her old spite returning. So, you just moved on? Replace me that fast. I didn't replace you. I upgraded my entire life. You were part of the old version. I turned toward the elevator. You'll regret this, she called, her voice rising in a desperate wail. I flew all the way here. I looked back one last time. Start counting. The elevator doors closed. 2 months later, I got a LinkedIn message. Sophia Morrison. Saw your promotion to lead engineer. Congrats. You were right about everything. I hope you're happy. I read it once. Didn't respond. Closed LinkedIn. My phone buzzed. Text from my climbing buddy. Still on for the meetup tonight? Yeah, I'll be there. I grabbed my keys and headed out into the Austin sun. I never thought about her again. What do you think about Daniel's handling of the situation? Was his response too harsh, or did Sophia get exactly what she deserved? Share your thoughts in the comments below.